Alright, I just wanted to touch on something real quick that I came across regarding race in the Americas. In this article right here, races were constructed to justify plunder and oppression. This article has a good little piece right here. I'll leave the link for y'all. It's called Mestizo, a Racial Category. Judith Bautista, a member of Copera, explained the ideologies of mestizaje have been key since the colonial experience in Mexico. From the first biological contact between the Spanish and the indigenous peoples, called the indigenous by the colonizers, and later with the caste system, which also included Afro descended slaves. I, you know, I mean, when they put the Afro descended bullshit, that just means that they want to exclude the dark skinned indigenous peoples that were on this land when they got here, and trying to use that Africans were brought here by them in the millions in order to replace the slave labor that was missing. But we found Maya slave ships, which were nothing but fucking pirate ships and what have you, that were transporting people the same way they do today, but today is done by military and Coca-Cola, big companies, and so forth, churches, synagogues, all sorts of bullshit. But anyway, according to the scholar, it was from the outset a justification for the church to regulate the extramarital relationships of Spaniards and to control their wealth and family lines, which were then directly associated with inheritance and tax control. All right, so we people that know inheritance and tax control. We got heirs property, the only people on the planet with heirs property on this land. And what I'm saying, we're not supposed to be taxed, but when they took us off the so-called reservation system, what I mean, and industrialized and capitalized into their system of this peculiar institution, they took all that shit away. So I mean, they want us to talk about reparations, repair, rations, do it a little bit at a time. All right, take the fucking taxes off. 400 plus, actually 530 something plus fucking years they've been on here calling us Africans and bullshit, trying to take our sovereignty from us. But anyway, going back to this article, that's our Mestize project from which the Mestizo Mexican nation emerges, said the workshop facilitator, referring to the Spanish caste system, classification of possible mixtures based on birth origin. Children of a Spaniard and indigenous parent equals a mestizo, and the of an indigenous parent and a black parent equals a Sambo. Sambo. All right, hold up. Wanted to put y'all on to the Sambo shit. All right, when you look at the little black Sambo on this page right here, you see a little black Sambo. You know what I mean? Look like a little regular old knucklehead. But then you go and you see this shit, which is something that's the well-known Sambo, or this one here, dark skin, turned into Jim Crow, mestizo coming from, or Sambo coming from a so-called African. Nigga look Cuban to me, anyway. But then it turned into Mammy. You know what I'm saying? Mammy with the Sambo. Same nonsense, bro. Anyway, going back to this right quick. Yeah. So if an indigenous parent and a black parent, you get a Sambo. Of a black parent and a Spanish parent, you get a mulatto. But that we know changed here in America to a white person and a so-called black person. You get a mulatto, no matter what color the skin. If it's a white, black, light skin, it's supposed to be mulatto unless they look like they could pass for white. It's a whole nother situation anyway. Of a mulatto and a Spanish parent, you got a morisca. Morisca. So they got their own situations, you know what I mean, for all this bullshit. But when you look at the whole situation, the central problem, it says, from the academic, is the social stratification of castes associated both with the possession of economic resources and skin color. Redlining, fucking gentrification, sundown towns, all that. It's bullshit. Projects. You can't get out the hood to go to the parks. You know what I'm saying? Where you used to live, where your ancestors used to roam, because they pushed you into a capitalistic system where you got to work and earn a living in order just to survive. Take all the fruit trees and all the food away from you, ability to go out and hunt and gather like we did and plant on lands that were originally for us. Now you got to buy it, pay tax on it. If you don't pay tax on it, they come take it. Shit, just took my homeboy, not my homeboy, but one of our brothers. Uh, you know what I'm saying? In this whole situation of America, they took his whole house for a water bill. Like, I man, listen, this shit going crazy. I just sitting here want to be black and bullshit. Get your tribe, man. You know what I'm saying? This shit is real. Shit is real out here. But it says whites, Spaniards, they're white, they're fucking from Europe, at the highest status, then Creoles, children of Spaniards, then mestizos, and so on until reaching blacks at the lowest status. So the darker your skin, the darker your status, supposedly in this country. Some crazy shit, right? They whitewashed all of Europe after 1492, took all the brownness away, the kings of Leon, all, you know what I mean? That was all up and down there. Erased the history of Abdurrahman II and his peoples coming from Cordoba, trading over here on this side. We knew a lot of them motherfucking Turks and Moors and so forth way before. You know what I mean? We kicked them niggas off the land plenty of times for coming. Some of them was cool, some of them wasn't. But, some of them that was cool ended up staying in Panama, Central South America mainly. They was kicked off of the mainland up here. A lot of them, because there was some bullshit. Except for the dudes, the Guanches from over there, off the Azores and stuff. You know what I mean? They came over there for a hot minute. It was cool. Anyway, that's a whole nother situation to do hard. But yeah, I just wanted to touch base and let y'all see this bullshit. How this caste system that we living in, this shit, it was set up this way on purpose. And if you don't realize that, you know what I'm saying, you got all these depictions that show you what a Sambo is, how they make fun of you, turn a so-called black person mixed with Indian. Here's one of the characters that did that shit, Henry Louis Gates, gatekeeper of life. Him and his African ancestry, Rick Kittles, Kittles, lying and to make money. But y'all go ahead and keep believing these fools, man. It's HistoREAL out.